With the epic beatdown Boba Fett provided in the latest episode of The Mandalorian, it seems like a good time to crack open the Star Wars history books and cover the life, so far, of the most infamous bounty hunter in the galaxy. Before the clone army that would ultimately be used as a tool for elevating the Sith to absolute power could be produced, a genetic template was needed. Count Dooku approached the deadly Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett and requested that he be that template. Fett agreed under two conditions. The first was obviously a hefty payday. The second condition was that Fett would be provided with an entirely unaltered clone of himself. This clone would be free of the age acceleration and the behavioral grooming that the clone army would be imbued with. This clone would be a son to Jango Fett. This clone would become Boba Fett. Fett would spend his childhood alongside his father, being trained in the art of bounty hunting by the best. In addition to physical combat skills, he'd learn how to use all kinds of blasters and gadgets, along with learning how to pilot his father's iconic ship, the Slave One. Boba and his father would have something of a home on Kamino. They'd often return there for rest between missions. He became cordial with the Kaminoans, such as Taun We. Boba was on Kamino with his father when Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived, hot on Jango's trail. When the two men engaged in a skirmish, Boba climbed aboard his father's ship and fired the cannons at Kenobi, attempting to aid his father. After chasing Kenobi through an asteroid field and seemingly disposing of him, the Fetts arrived on Geonosis just in time for a separatist meeting. Boba couldn't know it, but his time with his father was short. It wasn't long after that Jango Fett would be killed in the arena battle with the Jedi, beheaded by Jedi Master Mace Windu. Boba would harbor a burning hatred towards Windu, and would dedicate the next few years of his life attempting to exact his revenge. Boba Fett would use the Clone Wars as a vehicle for getting his revenge against Windu. He fell in with a group of veteran bounty hunters led by Aurra Sing. Their plan was to get Boba aboard the Republic starship that Windu was on, so that he could assassinate the Jedi Master. Fett used the fact that he was a clone to his advantage, and posed as a clone cadet named Lucky. During his time as a cadet, he displayed advanced skills for his age, impressing his superiors. Fett soon risked a trip to Windu's quarters, installing a bomb within. However, the bomb detonated when a clone trooper entered the quarters, failing to even scratch Windu. Aurra Sing told Fett to damage the ship's reactor core, and he did so, though he was reluctant. He simply wanted to get revenge against Windu. He had no desire to hurt anyone aboard the ship. It was a hint of the honor that Fett possessed and of the code that he would live by as he grew older. Windu would survive the assassination attempt though, as well as the one after it. With the Republic in pursuit of the bounty hunting team, they fled, but were soon captured.
Why should I help anybody? I've got no one.
It is the honorable thing to do. It's what your father would have wanted.
Fett expressed his regret to Windu that so many were killed or injured by his actions, though he also told Windu that he would never forgive him for beheading his father. Fett was sent to prison on Coruscant. Sometime later, though, he was released and formed a bounty hunter syndicate, Krait's Claw, on Tatooine. He would employ the likes of Bossk and Dengar, taking up various missions during the Clone Wars and brushing shoulders with the likes of Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane, and Hondo Ohnaka. Once Fett became a man, he began to use his father's Beskar steel-plated armor. He took up his ship and began his solo bounty hunting career. And it wouldn't be long until Fett was known as the most infamous bounty hunter in the galaxy. He formed a good relationship with frequent client Jabba the Hutt, doing countless jobs for the crime lord. Fett would also soon become under the employ of the Empire. His first job that we know about was given to him by Darth Vader. He was to track down the X-Wing pilot who destroyed the Death Star and bring him to Vader. So, Fett got to work. Fett interrogated a young moisture farmer who knew who the pilot was, and soon learned much about the pilot as well as his name, Luke Skywalker. Boba Fett traveled to Ben Kenobi's hut and waited there for Skywalker to appear. In a fortunate twist for the bounty hunter, Skywalker did indeed appear and the two engaged in a duel. Skywalker, still an inexperienced fighter at this time, was not much of a match for the killing machine that was Fett. Yet, with both good fortune and the help of Kenobi's Force Ghost, Skywalker was able to escape. Later on in the Galactic Civil War, Fett took yet another job from Vader, this time to track down the smuggler Han Solo. Fett knew that Solo was also wanted by Jabba the Hutt, so he saw this as an opportunity to double his reward. Fett tracked the Millennium Falcon to Bespin, where he assisted Vader in capturing Solo and his companions. Solo was placed in carbonite and he was handed over to Fett, who then successfully escaped aboard the Slave One. 1 year later, Fett was present aboard Jabba's barge during the execution of Skywalker, Solo, and Chewbacca by way of Sarlacc pit. It did not go as planned, however, and Fett ended up in the pit when his jetpack malfunctioned as a result of an incidental blow from Han Solo. Fett would escape the pit, but would lose his armor in the process. It would be 5 years before he would see his beloved armor again. So that's essentially all we know about Boba Fett in canon. There's a lot that can still be done with him, I think, particularly in the time period before the original trilogy takes place, as well as obviously whatever the Mandalorian has in store for him. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Boba Fett. Remember to like and subscribe for more content. It really does help the channel grow, and it makes our day. Anyway, I'm Zach, and I'll see you in the future.